Hey guys, it's me, my face, and a plethora of things to share with you. Today's happy dance is brought to us by coffee because coffee was up here and wine is downstairs. Lazy always wins. If you're new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a channel about cross stitch and any other damn thing I think of. If you are a returning visitor, welcome back. I think the last time I posted a video, I said something about monthly something. It was vague. It was very vague. So it's been like a month and a half, which is not as bad as it could have been. Well, we'll wait till the end of the video to pass judgment on that. The first thing I worked on is Be Happy. This is from the Primitive Hare, and this was actually a pattern that where do I put? It's like I don't even remember how to do this. I started this, no, it goes over here. One more time, Andrea. I started this at the Stitch New England retreat last year in October. And I only recently just picked it back up. I think at the end of the retreat, I had like this done and maybe some of this guy, because I think I remember having to fool with the wings. So I've made some distance. I've done some things. I am not a huge fan of yellow, but this one is just orangey enough that I guess I can forgive it. What am I doing this in anyway? That yellow is gassed sunflower. So it's pretty. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's bees. I got to expect yellow. It's like trying to do a Valentine's Day pattern and not using red. What are we even trying to do? I would 100% do it in all black. Bad example. The next thing I worked on is Oh Christmas Tree from All Through the Night. I keep forgetting that this is something I enjoy. That's a nice shadow right there. And every time I pick it up, I'm like, I don't ever want to put this down. I'm getting used to the Valdani. I think I said before, it is a lot like stitching with, excuse me. It's a lot like stitching with weeks. It's dry, for lack of a better word. It might be better if I use some thread magic on it or something, but it's fine. It's stitching up just fine. It's going to be cute when it's done. I would like to have this done by the end of the year, like for Christmas. I would like that. I would also like a pony. I always say the next thing I worked on, these are not in any particular order, but the next thing I'm going to show you is my Hare. This is Moon Hare. There's somebody who loves it when I show Moon Hare, and here he is. Here she is. Here they are. It's tough on a Hare to point out what you did because, I spent one very long evening filling in all the white. Let me see if I can get you in there. There's a lot of white. There's a lot of white. And white stitches on a white background. One is good because I usually get annoyed that you can see the fabric through the white, but it also means that I can't see where I've stitched. Did I maybe restitch a row, restitch over? It's entirely possible. Am I going to go back to find out? No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. If you can't see it from over there, I don't care. I don't care. But, yeah, every time I pick it up, I enjoy it. I think that's true of just every project. You hem and you haw and you don't want to look at it, and then you finally make yourself pick it up, and you're like, why don't I stitch on this? This is so great. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Stitchin' Mommy. Has like I think the typewriter method that she calls it, where she kind of goes along and just finds the next color, whether it's 1 or 100, and does that and starts chipping away at at all the colors. And I started that. I started it and I stopped. It was no. It was just no. I don't think I have the brain capacity to plan that far ahead. So I'm just picking big chunks of colors until I don't have any more. Somebody also asked why I don't show the back of my Hade, because backs of Hades are ridiculous. I don't think mine's that ridiculous. It's because I don't have a whole lot done. So maybe once I have like all the colors everywhere, it'll be slightly more chaos. Because what part of my day wouldn't be chaos? The next thing I have is Templar Prophesy. This is from Long Dog Samplers, and I did so little that when I took the progress picture, I had to put them next to each other to see what I had done. So you will not be seeing anything drastic, but sometimes it's just nice to visit with these projects. So what I managed to do, let me find it, is this kind of like little area right in here. That's it. That's it. I don't even know how long I gave it. It's also back in a Q-snap. Don't ask. I am not restarting this. I have decided that. Abby talked me out of that. And I'm not restarting Death by Cross Stitch. But I don't know that I am going to... I'm going to keep these out and stitch on them when I feel like it, but I do not have a plan for these. There are more things that I want to do than just this. And if I can finish Pandemic, then maybe I will have the oomph to come back to this. Or, you know, not. Speaking of Pandemic, also from Long Dog Samplers, I did a little bit of work. I don't know if I went back to my last video, I would know. I didn't have a previous picture of this. So I don't know that I ever showed it, but I feel like I did. So I don't know. But either way, here it is. And I did do a little progress. I think I started working like up these bands or barriers or whatever we're going to call them. I believe I've already gone astray, but I think I reined it back in. I think it was one of those things that, like, as long as the outside of an area is correct, if you fudge around inside, it's not going to hurt the rest of the pattern. But I am so loving the 1/1-ness of this. It just looks so good. It looks like ink. It's so good. Do I work on it very often? No. Should I work on it more? Absolutely. What am I going to do about that? Not the slightest idea. I'm just going to keep picking whips as they come into my line of sight. The next thing I have, oh dear God, Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is from Carriage House Sampling. And I am still on the last square. Oh my God, it's like a slog. It is, my brain is just done. But even the thought of like putting it away for a while, I'm like, no, we're doing this. The end is in sight. I went through the pattern and I think I found there's only like 5 blocks that have any backstitch, and there isn't that much. And some of it look kind of like I might not do it anyway. I think the most intense thing I need to catch up on is at the bottom of the scarecrow here. He has little like hay coming out the bottom. So I think those are just straight stitches. So once I finish the cross stitch, being finished is going to follow very quickly. That's very exciting. I want this thing framed and up on a wall and out of my psyche. I have angst. I also thought I had made a mistake. Like me, of course. Why is he so dang happy? Like, this guy is just like, okay, yeah, we're dead. I get it. This guy is just like, yeah. Like, yeah. We're dead. He's way too excited about it. It's suspicious. The next thing I have for you that I, again, worked very little on is Halloween Quaker. This is from Leela Studios. And I just bopped around a little. I think I finished off some more of this. I went up here, did some bats, some little motifs, these little guys, and started the next like Quaker up there. I bought Anchor Black because I am not thrilled with the coverage of DMC. But this is 40 count, and I learned my lesson on Hawk Run Hollow that we do not do sulky on 40 count because we end up hating it. So I bought Anchor Black, which comes on a spool, which is fine. But I haven't hit anything else that's black to try it on yet. So it's entirely possible I will end up taking that out and replacing it if it looks significantly better. If it doesn't, I may just do the rest in the Anchor and c'est la vie. Or c'est la guerre. I don't know. No, I'm not at war. C'est la vie. The last two things I have to show you are actual finishes. I know. 2 so far this year. That's like 2 more, I think, than I had last year and the year before. We don't need to get into it. Either way, this is Laughing Moon from Dames of the Needle. And they done. And honestly, I think this looks better. I think this looks better than the picture that was in the magazine. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. This really was quick to stitch. I just didn't do it very often. But like if I sat down for a night to do like a full night of stitching on this, I probably could have had it done in 3 sessions. So this didn't have to wait as long as it did, but it came out so good. I love that color. I love the gray purple of the fabric. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. I kind of know. Let me tell you after I show you the next one. My other finish is Halloween Parade. This is from Misty Purcell, Luminous Fiber Arts. And that just came out super cute. I'm kind of a fan of Off-White or Ecru, or I don't know. It's not even that. It's some other color. I like that on the dark fabric, and the coverage was good. I think probably because this is a hand-dyed Ada. Laura, my stitchy godmother, she made me a pillow. I may have told you once or twice. I think this tightens up when she dyed it, and so it made it easier to get better coverage. So it's probably closer to like a 20 count, or maybe a little higher count. Ada. I've been liking Ada lately. It's not that I don't like anything else. I find when I want to stitch, I don't want to think all that much. And Ada is definitely, there's less math. So Andrea, tell us your plan about the thing that you're going to do for your finishes that you know you're not going to do, but it's in your head and you might as well let it out into the world. I'm glad you asked. The scrapbook. The scrapbook is over there. It has room for all the things. All I need to do is like cut them down, stip them. I don't need to write a novel about each thing. There is nothing I can write about this other than maybe I started it at the retreat. That's it. I don't have any deeply held feelings about it. It's nice and I like it. But I'm never going to put it in the scrapbook. And if I do put things in the scrapbook, I'm never going to open the scrapbook. Ever. It's just not going to happen. Just to put something in there. So, I got the idea to use these felt strips to pin things up so I didn't have to frame them. I could just, I could pin, I could overlap, I could make nice texture, things like that. And they're working out really well. I'm really pleased with that. And I move them around with the holidays and things like that. Great. But what if I had a large piece of, let's say, Aida or linen? I don't know that it even really matters. Just a big piece that I could put up on a wall. And I could take these little finishes, cut them out, maybe fray the edges, do the thing, and then like baste or tack them to this big piece of fabric, making it almost tapestry-like, possibly through the years, making it almost crazy quilt top-like. It's not the worst idea I've ever had. It's not the worst idea I've ever had. Is it one that I will execute? I don't know. I don't think, probably not. I still think it's a good idea. It might be worth trying. It might be worth for somebody for trying. Or maybe it's worth me doing something like this big and just doing the little Christmas things that I stitched and just hang that up somewhere during the holidays. Just to make weeny little pieces that you can't do much with into a larger piece that at least has a function. It's doubtful it'll bring about the end of the world, so I say why not we do it. That is all the stitching I have done. I have started prepping a whole bunch of starts, because of course I did, because I don't have 10 more whips over there. I need more things. My floss collection is getting overwhelming, and it makes me want to use all the flosses. I want to have little empty cards up there. Like, look, I paid for this color thing and I used it and it's all gone. I believe my nest egg has started up again. I think it has. I think it's due to come at the end of the month. And that will be gassed. And that should be okay because I don't have a whole lot of theirs yet. But yeah, Trisha at 3 Owl took kind of the holidays off and everything. So like I noticed, but I was just like, oh, well, maybe it's over. Maybe it's done. Maybe it's this. And all of a sudden the invoice showed up. I was like, score. Cause you know how I love things to come in the mail that aren't bills. I have been on like an organizing kick, because one of the things about having all this floss is I keep saying, I don't know what I have. That's true of my floss. It's true of my fabric. It's true for a lot of my patterns, because if they're physical patterns, they're in a binder and I never see them. Whereas like the digital ones are always just right on my computer and I just like pull it up and be like, yeah, I'll load that into Pattern Keeper and just go, so I don't tend to go to the paper ones. So I haven't solved that problem. But for the floss, what I did a long time ago was I bought this bar, and I'm sure you're seeing something. And these S-hooks. And I hung all my DMC up outside of my closet so I can see it, but it's not like on the floor. It's not taking up space. I had that big spinny rack thing. It was too much space, taking up too much room. So I did that. And that has been working really well. What I did do is I replaced the little key ring strap thingies with you know what I'm talking about. Those worked well, except when I wanted to take things off the rings and put them on and find where they are, and it was a lot. And I wasn't doing it. So I was just putting things in a bag when I was done with them and not refiling them. That's not helpful. So I got these shower curtain thingies. And I forget if I saw a stitcher using these for organization, or I may have been watching some organizing channel, which I've also become addicted to, that used them for hanging things. And what I liked is, you know, they unclip. You don't have to and figure out, because it's like a USB cord, you know, you're going to put it the wrong way every time, 100% of the time. So they're easier to unclip and take things off. They're easier to flip through what's on there and find the one you want. Putting things back got a lot easier. So those have been good. I have put the rings, the S-hooks, and the bar. There'll be links down below. They're affiliate links, and I've put them in my Amazon store. So if you're interested in just seeing what they are and how they work, they're down there. The other thing that I got for fabric was, I have this about shoe bags, you know, the things that you hang on the back of your closet door and you put your shoes in, because shoes are foul. And I don't want them in enclosed spaces, and I don't want them in plastic, and it's a me thing. It's probably not a shoe thing. It's probably not a you thing. It's a me thing. So shoe bags and that plasticiness has always kind of given me the ick. But on Amazon, I found one that's all fabric, and it has mesh pockets. And so I said, okay, well, I'll order it and then I'll touch it. And if it freaks me out, I'm not keeping it. I did not freak out. It was fine. So I have hung that on the other side of the closet door and rolled up fabric and put them in there. And I tried to kind of keep them by count. So now I can look and see what I have, because I was kind of in the habit of, I don't have any, I must have run out of vintage country mocha by now. I should buy some. And I'd buy some, and I have 4 other pieces in there, because no, every time I look at it, I would buy another one. So now I can keep track of those a little better too. And you may or may not be seeing a picture of what I did. It's in a closet, which is not easy to photograph. So yeah, I think I kind of went through a stretch of, I didn't really have the mental energy to stitch, but I wanted to interact with my stuff. And that kind of resulted in at least cleaning up and organizing. And I've started a bag of things for the freebie table for this year's Stitch New England retreat, which I am all signed up for. And I have a room, and I have a plan, and I've mapped my route. That's what I've done. So I'm doing this thing. So I have stuff for the freebie table. I've already designed my small for this year. I'm going to beg, I think I may have said this before, if you are part of a smalls exchange, try to rein in what you think of as small. Because I know last year, and I've only been to the one retreat, and this may have been a one-off and that kind of thing, but I know at least one person, there was a great deal of anxiety and upset, because she felt that the small she had brought, which was truly a small, wasn't good enough. Because she saw what a lot of other people were getting. Like, I got this beautiful project bag with stitching on it and soaps in it. They're beautiful. I've used 2 of them already. They're gone. They smell delightful. And she felt so bad, and she didn't need to, because really nobody goes into the smalls exchange saying, I hope I don't get a small. You know, it doesn't happen that way. But she was very upset, and therefore I was very upset, because that's how I work. So yeah, I'm trying to rein in my idea of a small, because last year I made a biscornu as big as the girl's head. Andrea, settle down. So this year I have a much more modest plan. And because it's modest, and it's because it's something I have built before, it probably will not cause me the pain, the anxiety, and the angst that it caused me last year. Hashtag self-inflicted. I do not think there is anything else going on that is stitchy or stitchy adjacent. My medication has been adjusted again. I was having this weird crash in the middle of the day, and I was just like, if you've ever sat at a chair and you start to fall asleep and you like pull yourself, I was doing that like 3 times a day. So I've swapped that around. They doubled up on Prozac. It's still only 40 milligrams. So they tell me it's a baby dose. And then they took the Wellbutrin down to 150. And that seems okay. I'm still very tired. I still sleep a lot, but I think that's here. That's depression saying, nothing bad ever happens to you while you're sleeping. I can't argue. Sleeping is nice. Unfortunately, I skip meals and then I'm up all night. So we're trying not to encourage that behavior. Otherwise, literally the only thing I have done for the last, I want to say 6 weeks is work. We have a very big project going on. And when this project first started, everybody was told that while we are doing this big project, there is no room for any other big projects. Do not ask to have something, change a vendor. Don't ask to do this. Don't ask to do that. Well, guess what? They're all asking. And the problem is they're not asking. They're just informing me that, oh yeah, we're going to bring these people in and we need you to talk to them. We need you to learn their system. We want to change the thing you know how to do and put you in another system where you don't know how to work. And you can figure that out while you're figuring out the other new system, the big project that you've been working on. Flames. So yeah, I have been scarce. I haven't been able to go to a stitching day at Stitch New England, which makes me sad because I very much enjoy going there on a Saturday. I haven't made it to any stitching Zoom calls or anything. I have just been eating, sleeping, and working. And picking a different whip every time and making very little progress on them. Wow, Andrea, this got dark. In any direction, I'm still here. My stitching is still here. I have plenty of plans. And I guess the time to worry is when you don't even have plans. It's one thing if you make plans and just never quite get to them. It's another thing if you don't even bother to plan. So maybe I'm just that much ahead of my game. I think that's about it for me. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even the dislikes. And thank you so much for your comments. I look forward to them every time I post, and I hope I can be even just a little good at responding to them. I think I did okay last time, but don't quote me. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.